Yeah, so come out past the jaws, and right in this area is the confluence of the two currents, usually with an outgoing tide and incoming wind. And you got a big depth change because this is all 35 feet here, and it's 400 right in here at the gate. So you get a lot of weird confluence of patterns, and it creates these pyramidal waves that are 6-7 feet high, and it's what they call a confused sea. So there isn't any predominant pattern to it, and that's what makes it such a challenge. You know, you can be going thinking you're trying to head into the waves, which is what you generally want to do, but the wave will come and hit you from the side, and it'll just slap the side of your boat, and it just slaps you and beats you around. And so you've really got to, that's where you need a lot of power when you're navigating.
To punch through that stuff.
To punch through that, yeah, and to be able to maneuver around it. You're literally like on an obstacle course to get through it sometimes, depending on how heavy the seas are. And so you really got to...
They're picking up right here.
Yeah, here we go. Forecast was for 10 feet at 16 seconds for today.
Yeah, we're starting to see it.
And so you're starting to see it getting influence all the way in here. Yeah, you see the rollers over there. So it's going to be big out there today. And but out here on this bank, you want to watch the sea state, because at 12 feet you can start to get breakers where the waves will break. They'll curl and they'll break at 12 feet.
Come right over your bow.
In height, yeah, and that'll swamp you out.
I don't like getting wet in the boat. That's my rule.
Yeah.
I want to stay dry, even in this little dinghy.
So the rule of thumb is 12 feet is about the practical max out here off the bar.
This is TNPr Kevin. Say hey, Kev.
Hey, TNP Nation, how you doing?
So here's the deal. First off, I'm learning more from Kevin than he's learning from me. I can guarantee you that. He is a very experienced fisherman, offshore fisherman living in California. And on our web store, nutnfancybigcartel.com, as just kind of an afterthought, we thought we'd sell some outings with Nutnfancy. He bought one and we're doing it. So he's out, we're hanging out as buddies here in the bay. And by the way, these outings are expensive because they're expensive for me, right, Kev?
Yeah, that's right.
It ain't cheap because it's expensive for us to do the boat thing. But anyways, we're having a blast.
Oh yeah, I don't regret a bit of it. It's worth every penny of it.
And Kev, the interesting thing is he shows up and I go, so yeah, we're gonna go to the Golden Gate, we're gonna do this. He goes, yeah, that's why I go there all the time. Because he's an experienced offshore fisherman, like I said. He has a striper.
Yeah.
26 foot freaking nice boat, striper. So he knows a lot about these water conditions. You can see it's getting rougher now.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go past the gate. The boat could do it, but you can see we're going to start picking up water.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that.
It'd be a wet ride.
A wet ride. So anyways, that's what we're doing, and look at the day we have, other than the waves picking up a little bit here. Not bad, really. Looking at the Golden Gate, talking guns, seals, the kind that steal your fish here when you fish, not the Navy SEALs.
They'll troll right behind your boat.
Tell them about that. That's hilarious.
They'll troll. They'll set up when you're trolling. You got to spread out.
Like a California sea line.
Like California sea lines, they'll set up right behind your spread, and they'll just wait for you to get a fish, because you're the one luring them right to them, and then they'll rob it right off your line.
What about you called it hooking into a turkey dinner?
Yeah, turkey dinners.
What was that?
Well, you're drifting chobies.
There's a seal popped up right there. I missed it though.
And you're drifting chobies out here, and you'll get a chobie on, and a lot of times, you know, the seagulls rather will see you. And they know fishing boats have bait and they've got food. So they'll hover right above the boat into the wind, and when you drop your chovy overboard, they'll splash down and get it, and you hook them. You end up hooking them. You're not trying to hook them, but they get hooked. And we call that hooking a turkey dinner. And then you got to bring them in, and you got to get them off, and they're pecking at you, and they're fighting.
And you release them, you set them free.
Oh yeah, you're trying to just get them off and you know, trying to help them out. And you know, it sucks that they're flailing because they're hurting themselves, and all you're trying to do is help them out.
Amen.
But
Kev's an animal lover like myself.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean we won't eat some good fish though.
I will do that.
What are you hitting out here then? So you said you halibut fish and you eat those.
Yeah.
You get those, right?
Yep.
What, salmon?
Salmon
here, past
outside the gate. Yeah, people fish for them inside as well, but I think you get the much higher quality when they're still outside.
Okay.
You know, the fish haven't started to turn when they come in to start the spawning run. They'll start to turn, and even as close as up inside the bay here, Raccoon Strait, which is where you filmed your video.
Yeah.
They're already starting to get a little bit green. So I like to go outside and get them where.
Does that change the flavor?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
How?
And the texture. they get gamier.
Oh.
And they get mushier.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, why is that though? It's what they're eating here in the bay versus what they're eating in the ocean?
Well, they don't. They shut off. They quit eating and they start living off of their own fat.
Okay.
And you know, salmon have a lot of fat, and I think, I'm not an expert on it, but I think the reason for that is because they have to be able to live off it once they start up
spawning. Huh?
Yeah.
Where are they spawning it here? I mean, I can look it up on Wikipedia.
Well, yeah, they'll go all the way up the American River.
So they'll go up American River.
Past Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they'll go up north, too. They'll go up to Chico
I heard
area.
the spawns are not great these days, though. Like, they're down in numbers. Is that true?
This past year, I haven't heard. The year before was good. Last year was good. This year, I haven't heard the numbers yet for this year. I expect, though, starting next year, that's the drought fish, because the life cycle is 3 to 7 years. And we've been having drought out here. So probably starting next year, we'll start to see lower numbers just because the drought. When the drought at its peak, they were having to truck the fish down rather than release them, where they catch them at Nimbus. They siphon them off. They siphon them into a holding pen. They take all of the roe and they farm them basically. So then they raise them to increase the yield. And then they take the fry. And they'll release them right where they caught them, so that they'll come back in 3 to 7 years. That's the life cycle.
Because they imprint on that area.
Right, exactly. And there was so little water up there, I want to say the year before last, maybe last year, that they had to truck them all the way down to Richmond.
Okay.
Here, the base of the Carquinez Strait, and release them there. So the worry there is that now they're going to be confused. They're not going to know to go to Nimbus again when it's time to spawn. So 3, 4 years to 7 years out, few of them returning, and so there'll be a dip in the cycle.
The funny thing is, when I bring the Zodiac out to the gate, which I love doing, I bet people drive by and they go, "What the hell?"
They're
like, "What is that guy doing out in that rubber raft?"
Yeah, you don't see those out here every day.
The Zodiac can take it though, true or false?
Absolutely, true.
Yeah,
no doubt.
It'll hammer. I mean, but again, we want to stay dry. So
yeah,
that's a whole different approach.
Yeah, when Tactical Doodle was setting it all up, he's like, "Well, you know, it's safe." I said, "No worries, man. It's a Zodiac. It's an inflatable. Not worried at all."
Yeah. It's amazing. We were talking, Kevin and I were talking, just how the ocean changes right here. As soon as you get out, well, you see there's not that guy. There's that rib. He's way over here now. But the ocean changes. I ain't doing it.
You start to pick up a big groundswell right in this area right here.
Yeah.
And it's as you drop off of the shelf that forms Alcatraz there. The shelf comes out and then it drops off, and that's when you start to pick up the ocean swell, even though you're still inside the bay. And then as you get further out into this channel, then you start to pick up that potato patch type of texture to the water.
Yeah, like you're describing.
Yeah, like when you're describing, like I was saying. And then once you clear the jaws, then it's full on potato patch, and that's a.
And you said your striper boat though just goes.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Yeah. What 20 degree you said hull on that?
20 degree dead rise hull. Yeah. Most standard boats.
He's an engineer, by the way,
18.
so he kind of knows what he's talking about.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. He's got like a full self-sufficient power supply on his boat, and he'll spend the night on his boat. True or false?
True.
That's smart. So you'll come out. You live in California, but it's like 3 hours away. You'll tow out, launch early in the morning, go hit the fish, pull back here to marina and spend the night.
Right.
Then hit it again the next day.
Right, and I'll do multiple nights that way.
You've broken the code of life, my friend.
So yeah, it's I enjoy the heck out of it. It's living.
You know, and if you're wondering, you know, well, what are you guys doing at outing with Nutnfancy? What do you talk about? Everything. Everything.
So far, yeah.
Knives, guns, politics, life stories.
Yep.
Investing time, everything. It's fair, dude. If you get this, you come out. It's just like we're hanging out as buds, just like Kevin and I are doing.
Awesome. Highly recommend.
We're hanging out as buds, and I'll be your personal gear advisor.
Yeah, you've already helped me out, right?
No, I haven't helped him out. He's being kind. But I'll tell you what, there's not going to be a lot of these on the website. I can't fit in the schedule. They're going to be very rare. So do it, not do it, either way. I'll make it. We'll come out from Utah. We did in rendezvous like we did now.
Yep, and I didn't waste any time. I signed up.
Oh, so glad. It's such a cool dude, this guy. So cool. And what we're going to do is we're motoring clear around the bay. We're going to be bullshitting the whole time about everything. And then lunch. Lunch is included. We're going to take you probably to Quinn's Lighthouse for seafood.
Awesome.
And then Doodle will probably join us later. He totally blew his shift.
Food, I eat it.
Huh?
Be forewarned, I see food, I eat it.
I like eating myself, my man.
Yeah.
I should be about 10 pounds lighter, but I like eating.
I should be 20. So.
I like eating. Eating's fun.
Something I got to work on.
He was telling me, like, when he anchors his boat. Let me get in front of this dude right here.
Yeah.
I am filming, but I'm paying attention at the same time.
Nice.
Make sure we don't throw Kevin overboard here. Well, it's a little rough right here now, so. The thing we're talking about, the Zodiac, which I love, is just a whole shot so hard.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because I want to get out of the way of this guy right here.
I love power to weight ratio.
Yeah. What was I talking about? I forget.
It's kind of the opposite of size and weight constraint, right?
Well, it's yeah, it is.
It's in the same category. It's just the corollary to it.
Well, we're talking about the motor, what it can do. My cruise speed on the Zodiac is a Mark II Futura. It's not super high. It's probably 27 out here in the bay with the right conditions. But a whole shot's really good, and it's really torquey. And that is super helpful. I'm going to turn the boat so you're in the sun. So another seagull buddy of ours. I love those guys. Is the whole shotting is important to get out of the way of boats, tows, and waves. I've seen big waves come, and I just, like Miss Nutton, we're right here actually, right here, and this huge wave comes, and I just said, hang on, punch it, we get out of the way of it. So that's kind of nice.
You know where that really pays off is out of the potato patch.
Yeah.
Where you've got to be able to squirt power on to get punch through a wave, and they come at you suddenly. So you got to be able to respond, and you want the boat to respond when you hit it.
I'll make you a deal. I'm going to give you the GoPro. I'll strap it on your head. You go out alone in this in the potato patch. I'll post the video. I'm not doing it. And I want you to go out when the waves are like 4 foot. Oh, there's our porpoise friend. There's like a little baby porpoise.
Yeah,
you'll see him come up there.
They start about here. Haven't seen them too often any further in. They kind of seem to start or stop here, however you want to think about it. It's right about this area here.
What are they feeding on?
The chobies.
There you go. Did you see him right there, guys? He's just, there they are. They're feeding right here. I'll zoom in. Little chobies. Tiny porpoises. They're cute as can be.
Herring, jack smelt, small bait fish.
Yeah, but if you want to take the Zodiac out when it's a 4 foot, 5 foot potato patch, I'll give you the GoPro. I'll be on radio.
Okay.
Kevin, how you doing out there, buddy?
You still all right?
You doing all... No answer.
No answer.
Coast Guard, Roger, we have a red Zodiac gone missing in the potato patch. You'd be floated up here on the shore somewhere.
Oh, man, swimming.
Well, there's a TNPr in the comments, seriously. I love this comment. He goes, yeah, I'm a believer in the Zodiacs because I work for a Coast Guard, and we had to rescue one where the motor died on it. We couldn't get to him for 3 hours, and he was in the ocean, not in a bay. And the swells are huge. Yep. They got to him, and he was there safe and sound. He just hung on.
Yep.
Wet. You know, he got wet, but he didn't sink.
Yeah, no, the lesson here is if you look at what the Coast Guard runs, they run the rigid versions of them.
Correct.
That's their boat of choice out here.
Yeah, they're awesome. My main, I was telling Kevin, going out into the gnarly waves is flipping it. I don't want to flip it.
No.
Because then that creates all kinds of life drama that I don't want to deal with.
Yep. Would indeed.
So what do you think of the election?
Yeah.
In very generic terms, otherwise the video will go south.
I would say in a word, jumping for joy. Well, that's 3 words.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I'm so happy.
Absolutely. Just relieved.
So happy.
Relieved. And once I got over just being incredulous that he pulled it off, I couldn't be happier. And
Do you see any hypocrisy with what's going on from
my goodness.
his opponents, people that don't like Trump?
That is ridiculous. It's inexcusable. It's
What were they saying about Trump supporters
Yeah,
if he were to have lost the
they were,
election?
it was all over the papers, you know, that they're going to all riot when Trump loses. Not if, but when.
And maybe armed insurrection,
And
I heard.
insurrection. They're talking about already. You know, look at how many people got beat up at the rallies and all this. Well, that was all staged. And then what happens? It goes the other way, and the hypocrisy instantly kicks in. And you know the thing about it is they're so indignant they won't even admit to the hypocrisy that they put out there from before to after. And they're totally making excuses now for these people when they were pointing the finger before it ever happened at the Trump supporters.
Yeah,
They were
I
saying
agree.
What they were hypothetically saying would be the same thing.
Totally agree. And
that-
so, in my opinion, they're not really supporting rule of law. They're actually trying to circumvent it.
Right. That's right.
Like, we'll create our own law.
Yeah. Well, some of them are anarchists. It's all
Yeah.
organized. It's not spontaneous, like they'd have you believe. There's
Oh,
ads that
fellow
go out
purpose.
and everything for it on the web.
I agree, brother. Totally agree. And I was wrong, dude. Trump was the only one that could have won.
Yeah.
I was totally
I
wrong
think you're
because
right.
he's the one that activated all the people that were
Yeah.
not involved in the political process.
I
And
don't think
I was
anyone-
wrong about that.
Yeah.
I really didn't understand that. That people, unless they had someone like Trump that really spoke to them and that they could relate to, they got them off their butts and they voted.
Yeah.
They were the silent majority that obviously came out.
Yeah.
Look at these guys. What are they doing out here? Just hanging out?
Yeah.
Dude, it's nice through here.
Yeah.
We say that, and 2 seconds later
Well,
we
I'm
got a
just gonna say it,
10-foot crasher coming
yeah.
to us.
You can see it's getting a little bit.
Yeah, the swells
right
are
here.
there.
Yeah.
The swells I don't mind. I don't like whitewater though.
Right.
I bet you these guys are practicing sailing right there. Those guys, because they just passed us, and I bet
Yeah.
you they're just setting up their sails and practicing.
Yeah.
Although they're probably using their motor right now.
Now they got one sail up and it's kind of lufting, so
Yeah.
they could be.
That's a ferry right there.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful it is here, TNPers. I mean, this is one of the world's most exclusive destinations, if you're asking me. It's just so freaking epic.
Yeah.
Granted, we're in a rubber raft out here. Which is maybe not the smartest thing in the world, but here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to tell you something about Kevin, which is super cool.
You got a fish jump right there.
Did you?
Behind you.
A big one?
Yeah, it was a good size. Oh no, sorry.
Sorry, I'm
Oh,
zoomed. He's totally prepared. So we both have Cabela's Guideware Gore-Tex, which I'm updating my review on. He's had it for 3 years. Did you buy it off my original review, or you already had it?
I already had it.
Cool, and you love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he used it. It's durable. It's just, you can see.
This has got 3 years of hard fishing use on it, and you know, I mean, you can see it's dirty. It's not. I haven't washed it in a while.
And he's got the same PFD I do, like the auto inflate offshore West Marine rig. I mean, he showed up and I was like, dude, you have the same gear I have.
Yeah, the only thing you're missing is the skanky bait towel.
That is the, you know you're a fisherman when you have that dangling.
Yeah.
Either that or a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I mean, he's got a dry bag. He's got headlamps. He's got Pacific Salt 1. Everything. He's got it. I mean, he showed up and I didn't know who was showing up. You know, I didn't know you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know, I got to kind of brief and make sure that, because I mean, it can get serious out here. We're
can.
prepared.
Yeah.
We're kidding around that we're out here in a rubber raft, but damn, if one of us goes overboard, you kind of want to be prepared.
Yeah, you have to be out here. It's not something to toy with. It's great enjoyment, but you've got to take it seriously at the same time.
Have you seen guys sink out there outside the
Yeah.
gate? How'd that go for them? Life-threatening?
It's life-threatening. Yeah, because the water's so cold. You don't have a long time in the water before you go hypothermic. The muscles start to shut down, and you better have a PFD on.
Yeah, and
Think you can
hopefully
swim to
assistance,
shore,
because
and assistance better be coming. Yeah.
that's why if I'm out here alone, dude, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like being out here, because
Yeah.
I probably couldn't get back in the Zodiac. I'd be too numb.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't solo it. No way.
Well,
Buddy
I
system.
leash in too,
Yeah, there you go.
so I'm leashed in with that when I'm alone.
Yeah. That's smart. Stay with the boat. It'll float on you.
Hey, crank that again. I actually hit the kill switch on it, bro. Por favor.
Yep.
That would be bad, dude. Thank you.
Yep.
And here you're filming now.
All right.
Hold it steady.
Now you see here, you're getting a little cross current just right in here. You can see that. See how you got the cross current between the bay and the ocean right here.
Absolutely. I mean, you get these currents that are just
Yeah.
smashing all the time.
Yeah, and there's serious rip currents underneath too.
Yep.
That's another reason you don't want to go swimming out here. There's a reason they put the prison on that island, and it's not that far from shore.
We're gonna go around Alcatraz too. We'll hit Angel Island. Dude, that guy's cranking a little offshore fishing boat coming in. Here, I'll turn me around. See that guy? He just slowed down. That little boat right here.
Right here?
Just wave busting out there.
Yeah. Yep.
That's you, dude. That's you coming in from the striper. What time do you guys head in after? How long you fishing?
I usually call it at 5 o'clock.
That's a full day of fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're out from 7 in the morning till 5 o'clock fishing?
Yeah.
That's respectable, man.
Yeah.
Look at the waves now, dude.
Yeah. And you see this kind of little ripply pattern? Well, that's like the potato patch. It looks a lot like that, except it's 7 feet high.
Guys,
Same type of action.
get out of this one here.
Yep.
Water. I don't like this water right here. Hang on, brother. Find us some smooth water again. I just laugh. Every time I come out, I know guys are looking at this little boat and go, what is he doing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know it. I mean, I would be.
Although I think today's ocean conditions are pretty good.
Oh, it's excellent. Yeah.
This is really good.
This would be I would call this primo.
Guys, it's bouncy. Sorry, it's bouncy. I mean, the camera's stabilized, but there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
most of you guys don't even watch the videos. You're just listening to them at work anyhow. I hear from that all the time. Yeah, I'm listening.
Is that right?
They say, I bought them treated like a podcast.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Hadn't thought of that.
I started thinking that, like, oh, why put in all the editing, work into the videos when guys are not even watching it, they're listening to it. There's those guys sailing right there.
Yeah, they got two sails up now. So they were just rigging up. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, here we get that shot. That's cool. Now, if you guys ever come out to the Bay Area, I mean, there's some really cool sailing boats that will come off of Pier 39 or around there. They're like touristy things, but they're cool. They'll take you out to Alcatraz Island. You sail around Alcatraz. They're worth doing. They're fun.
Yeah.
Mrs. Nutton and I did one years ago, and the crew is really cool. It's fun. If you drink, beer's included, I think. They just, they tool around the Alcatraz. They're super slow, but it's still fun. I'm a little surprised the waves are picking up right here as soon as they are, because I thought it'd be a little bit smoother.
Well, it's getting to be that time. You got a tanker coming in right behind you.
What is it?
Tanker.
Yeah. I'll make sure I'm out of his way.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sign off here. We may give you another mini video either on A or B channel. That's probably our rescue copter. They're like, are those guys okay?
Yeah, checking to see if they're in trouble out there.
Their boat probably sunk. They're in their dinghy.
That's right.
We'll go hit lunch. We'll hook into Tactical Doodle as a game plan. Signing off. That's Kevin the TNPr.